Welcome boys and girls, welcome to another sort of distillery tour with a difference. We're doing an interview. We are down in the foothill, where are we? The foothills of Sussex Downs. We're about 10 miles outside of Brighton. I'm with the lovely Gina and John from Goldstone Rum. This is sort of part of the Craft Rum Club for March 2023. I'll get you some B-roll. I'll cut in some B-roll throughout this video, but I'm just here. We're just going to have a sit down with possibly Britain's, UK's, England's, he likes to be English. England's one of the newest rum distilleries here. So let's start from, so you've been distilling for 3 months at the time of shooting.
Yep.
That's what I find a bit crazy. It's like 3 months because the rum that I forget when you sent me, probably about a month, 2 months ago, a month ago we had that.
Mid-Jan,
I've kind of fell in love with that straight off the gate, and it was kind of a fascinating story because we'll talk about the products that they use in a minute, or the raw materials, which kind of got me all excited and stuff. But so yeah, take it away. So where did this journey start for you?
a drunken lockdown.
So this wasn't even a COVID kind of, or was it? Was it a COVID?
Yeah. So during lockdown, we were making beer, we were bored, we realised corporate world's not all it's cracked up to be, and thought, how can we do something a bit more fulfilling? We've both got hospitality backgrounds, but didn't want to get back into hospitality, which I mean, you can associate to. So we thought, actually, what about, how could it be creative but still get back into that industry where it is a fun vibe? So we thought, well, let's make rum.
So what, do you both like rum? Yeah. Is that the party spirit?
Yeah.
Is that a drunk? Yeah. You've got lots of memories about getting drunk on rum.
Yeah, I think, at the moment, I work in aviation. We were fortunate to get cheap.
Side gig, he sells aeroplanes.
we were fortunate enough to get lots of cheap travel. So we used to go to the Caribbean a lot. And what else do you drink in the Caribbean?
Yep.
You don't drink gin, do you?
No, exactly.
And rum is such a versatile spirit, isn't it? Neat, so many cocktails you can make from rum. Really like the kind of appeal of it being,
the party, the communal spirit.
Yeah.
Get your mates around to have a drink.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just one drink. You can make like some other spirits. That we won't mention.
Go on, come on. Which other spirit?
But you buy gin and tonic, but rum, you can make a dark, you can make a pina colada, you can put it with ginger, you can put it with coke, you can cook with it. I can make sweets and chocolates.
I've heard of like Stratford sodas.
Stratford sodas out of it. So I think the versatility or diversity of the product, and also we can have a bit of fun as English rum. We're not bound by history. We can play around.
Do it your own way.
Exactly.
There's no rule books, is there, to kind of do it? So this was the idea was born in lockdown. So talk us through that whole brief abbreviation, because you just said something off camera, 15 months to get
it took a while.
To get a distilling license.
Yeah, I found the process to be a bit convoluted of set everything up and then we'll come and tell you if you can have a license. And, I'm sure you'll do it's quite an expensive process to set up. So we made some agreements with HMRC where we would submit a proposal, they would give us approval in principle, then we would come and do everything, then they would come back, do an inspection of us, and hopefully give us a license. And luckily, we ticked all the boxes and got there. So we went, it was definitely the long route, but I think the more sensible route.
Yeah.
Even to open our first bank account, we needed that approval in principle, didn't we?
Yeah, I've heard this sort of story.
Yeah, it's a real chicken and egg situation. You need a bank account to have your investment, but you can't get a bank account until you've got your approval in principle from the HMRC. So it's
You're not the first one to tell me that. That just completely throws me as well. Because for me, opening a business account was pretty easy. It was
so it was probably a good 9 months before we could even get a bank account.
That's crazy.
It's painful.
So all that process, and then we get to December 2022.
Yes.
Is that it? December? We're nearly at 3 months, aren't we? So what was the date? 10th.
So that was when we first got rum.
Was the first rum off the still.
Yeah.
So the fermentation started end of November once we got the license. So we ferment for around about 2 weeks. So we do nice, long, slow fermentations. And the first bottle came off on the 10th of December. It was quite an emotional moment.
Wow.
It was.
You had tears, didn't you?
I did have tears.
Tears.
I did.
Tears.
Cheers,
Oh.
Steve. I thought we'd spoke out.
Did you get all emotional?
Yeah, no,
it's your little baby come to
Yeah,
life.
exactly. And it was. I like the fulfilment that, it's quite a few people along the journey.
Yeah.
Were like, oh, you're never going to do this. It's really difficult what you're trying to do, and you don't have any experience. You don't know what you're talking about, and it's like actually, we do.
We do.
And we've done it.
Yeah.
And so far, the feedback's been positive.
Awesome.
We know it's the first batch.
Yeah.
Well, we're on our third batch now. But yeah, we're dead proud.
So talk us through, so we're sitting in what I would call a unit. Is that the right word for this?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an industrial unit. That's kind of what we're sitting in here. I think it's really, really well done. I'll cut away to some B-roll, but was this your vision, was it? Yeah. This guy.
The marketing.
But this is the thing, so the still and all that is just, you won't see it, but it's just outside that window down there. But we're in, hopefully you'll see it be up above my bald head. What's this? The Spirit.
Spirit Lab.
So we've got all these lovely little copper, alembic sort of stills kind of thing with the little. So you open this up to rum tours and
yeah, so we saw like the gin
distill their own gin.
Yeah, the gin school craze, and we thought, why can't we give people the opportunity to learn how to distill and how to infuse flavour into spirits? So we do the gin, but predominantly 90% of the people have come want to make rum. So, and they're getting wackier and wackier. Some of the flavours have been questionable.
Go on, what's the worst?
I couldn't say.
You can. Name and shame. Name and shame.
Someone tried to make a chili one, and it was like eating a Scotch bonnet. It was too much. They enjoyed it though, but yeah, not my cup of
It's their
tea.
palate that matters.
And this is it. If you like it, you like it. So yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, there's been some.
See, because definitely from what I see, it's definitely like an experience market these days, isn't it? I mean, fine if you can sell stuff, brilliant. But people, what I find is that people can, even from YouTube, like seeing you on YouTube, but if people can buy into this sort of stuff, it builds brand loyalty, and you just evolve from there, and it's
Absolutely.
part of the community.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to a hotel or a kitchen and do a chocolate making course.
Yeah.
You can't do this at home.
No.
The licensing, as we just spoke about, is a minefield. So if we can give people the opportunity to experience a snippet of how to distill, and that minute when it first comes out the column, and then they're like, "I'm a distiller," and it's like, "Yeah, you are."
Do you find they have more appreciation for not only just what you're doing, but actually the level, like the rum as a complex thing, as opposed to just taking a vodka and whacking some gin?
Yeah,
Hooray, we've got gin.
And I think, absolutely. I think the problem that we face in England or Britain, UK, Great Britain, whatever you want to call it, the British Isles, is we're clouded. The majority of the public is probably clouded that Bacardi is rum.
Yeah.
And if you like, that's nothing wrong with that.
So Bacardi isn't rum?
We know it is, but it's a mass-produced product.
Yeah.
And actually, people like ourselves, and then there's a load of other scratch producers in the UK now, which is great, are making a more premium craft rum with passion. And it's the difference, I said to someone the other day, it's the difference between Angel Delight and Gordon Ramsay making you a chocolate mousse. They're both chocolate mousse, but this is mass-produced, and this is delicious. So
there we are. So we've got 6, is that right? There's two there. Seven,
six plus the barrel, but obviously we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So
because this is where the nuts and bolts comes in now. So downstairs we've got what I like to call jiggery, pokery, and paella and all that. But you use what I think that's it. The 4 main thing you use. Sugarcane juice, actual juice. We'll come on to the story about that in a second of where that comes from, because that just kind of blows me away. We've got juice, we've got Jaggery. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that.
Do you want to start
go on. No, it's fine. We'll get it in. We like all cutting this. So this is, for those of you that haven't seen, let's get this on, hopefully. What's this? This is fudge.
This is Jaggery. It's not far off. So this is Jaggery. So it's a raw sugar from India. So they press the cane, and they put in these huge woks, basically light a fire underneath, evaporate the water, reduce it, and it creates this product.
So that's Jaggery.
Yeah, and there's 2 reasons. One, that we've got a bit of a love for India, all things Indian, but also, and depending which book you read and which story you read, the argument is that the first distilled product from sugarcane juice was India.
Okay.
Apparently the Chinese found it there in...
Okay. So not Barbados.
No.
Oh.
Depends which story you do. So it's a bit of homage.
No,
also,
no.
do you know what, it's from a profiling perspective, it's got lovely caramels to it, it's got a touch of smokiness to it, and I think, again, as an English producer, we don't have to stick to the boundaries.
It smells like if you open a bag of Muscovado sugar, it smells like Muscovado, just to
really
kind of
hardcore,
describe it. Yeah. Like that. So that's Jaggery Pokery. Jaggery. This is paella without the prawns. Panela. So what's Panela?
Very similar to Jaggery. Again, it's a pure sugarcane juice that's evaporated from Colombia, North and South America, if that makes sense, across that whole region. This one's actually Colombian, the one we use. I think it's delicious. It brings another profile to our fermentation, which obviously then carries through into our wash and gives quite a complex rounded.
So this is like a light Muscovado sort of.
It's a bit.
It's completely different.
Yeah, and Muscovado probably sat in the middle of these two.
Yeah.
If you were to have it on a scale.
It's not like Demerara or anything. It's sort of that Muscovado sort of vine.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And we'll get onto this in a minute. This is obviously molasses.
Yep.
Yeah, we all
You
know.
know.
Our good old
treacle lick at that. Yeah, good old molasses. So. And then sugar cane juice. Now, look, I'm going to put it like sugar cane juice. You can only use it like literally 2 hours after it's been harvested over in like the Caribbean or wherever. How are you getting sugar cane juice? Come on.
We've had some conversations.
We've had some
I've had
banter.
some other people as well approach us on social media, and it's not fresh. So like anything, when someone says to me you can't do that, I need to go and find out about it and research.
Why not?
So, but by the sort of research we've conducted, so let's start at the beginning. Ours comes from Jamaica and Uganda.
Yeah.
It's shipped over, obviously all refrigerated. We place an order with a chap in London, Gary the Juice, legend.
Gary the Juice. Gary the Juice. Hello, Gary the Juice. Can people rock up to his little place and get juice?
Yeah, no,
he's got a juice bar, isn't he?
Yeah, he does mail order as well. It's called City Juice.
Right, okay. There you go, Gary. Right.
Even with just a straight shot with some of that as a mixer is ace.
Right, okay.
Ace. Yeah, City Juice.
Right.
So, yeah, he brings it in, he juices it for us, and then probably within, 4 to 6 hours, we have it down here in fermentation.
Wow.
So, when I looked into it, I don't know, I'm not a chemist and I'm not a biologist to understand plants, but from what I've read and what I've taken in is the sugar trade did a lot of research on this because they wanted to bring efficiencies to the way in which they, from field to processing. And the data that I could find would indicate after 96 hours of being picked, it stabilises. So we lose about 1.7% of that sucrose and flavour. So if someone thinks they can notice the difference between 2 hours picked and a reduction in flavour of 1.7%, they've got an amazing palate.
Super taster.
Yeah. So
bombshell. People.
Well, that's the data that I found. I'm
look,
not saying it's factually
British
correct.
British rum's coming for you.
That's just what
this
we
is all
found.
fascinating because, as I said to you downstairs, we're kind of conditioned to think that you can only use sugarcane juice within hours of harvesting. Yeah. But the data is showing that it's stable. It doesn't deteriorate any further after that.
1.7 from what we found. So I'll share the.
So obviously, let's just take mint in a mojito, for instance. Fresh mint just picked is going to taste decent. But if you go to Tesco's and get a bag of mint from Kenya or Morocco, wherever it is, that's been picked 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. It's still
tastes
pretty
like mint.
damn good mint.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the
And this is what I love. This is what I love about what you guys are doing. You're kind of taking these rules, and starting again. So why all four? Why not just think juice? Why not just think molasses? Why not jiggery pokery and paella?
So
I love that smell.
That's why.
Is it that?
Because you
could be different.
I mean? Look, let's be honest as well. You need a USP when you're bringing a product to market. So we needed to do something different. But actually, from a flavour profiling, you just sniffed that and gone, I love that smell.
Yeah.
And then when you ferment this and blend these sugars, for my palate and my opinion, and that's all it is, we think we've made a really
Have you,
funky product.
and this can be a no if you haven't, but if you just experimented with just...
That's how I started, because it was like, that's how, if you want to make rum, you make rum from molasses.
I'm not, because I know nothing about molasses other than it comes in IBCs and buckets and Tate and Lyle thing. Does that smell, obviously that's been out for a while, but does the smell deteriorate much? Because the smell on that is 10, and that's probably under-exaggerating, 10 times
I'm not sure.
the aroma of what I'm getting off that.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's got the best nose on it compared to these two. You know, this is
So
effectively
logic kind of tells you that the better the aromas and the taste and the smells going in, the better it's going to be coming out. Logic?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you buy a really cheap steak, or you buy a beautiful farm from a farm shop where the farmer knows it was Daisy the cow and he's looked after it, you know, the Japanese steak where they feed him beer and massage them, it tastes nicer than the cheap steak. So use quality ingredients. In theory, you should get quality product. I think the main difference is this is obviously a byproduct of sugar production. This is a standalone product of a reduction. All we've done is remove the water content from this. So we've been, you know, going back to when I was a chef, when you're making a jus, you're just reducing all of the water out. So you get a really thick, concentrated beef and red wine flavour. Yeah. That's what these are. So it's for me, it's concentrated. So
it's kind of like a little play about to get a sort of, obviously we won't discuss ratios, that's your recipe, you know. I share my cocktail recipes, but these distillers, they don't share that. So, but basically you've played about with all four, you've got your sort of set ratios of what you kind of use and you come out of that. See, I find that fascinating because then we're not going to, obviously I'm not going to divulge what yeast you've got downstairs and stuff like that again. But then it kind of, this whole minefield of different yeast strains and, I've seen, can we talk about dunder that you've just started collecting dunder as well down there now?
Yeah, we're quite proud of our little dunder tank.
Dunder. It's like endless boundaries of what you can and can't do.
Exactly, and the more you play,
his little face there. You can see it's like totally in his element here.
Because it's fun.
Are you just like humouring him? Is this just like his little...
Yeah. Distillation and all of the ingredients and the recipes, that's very much John's side of the...
But to talk about your side, I made a comment downstairs, but I think it's absolutely true. It's almost like the dream partnership because your sort of background is like marketing and bits like that. And you've kind of got this missing link that brands, distilleries would spend thousands.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got distiller operations.
Has he trained you how to distill? Have you had a little play?
Oh, you've had a few guys.
I've had a go, yeah. I wouldn't be operating that on my own.
Not yet. Come on. Gina's brew. Let's make it happen. See, limited edition, all these limited edition releases.
Pineapple tiki.
Oh, hello.
Well, we are
Pineapple tiki.
Yeah.
Nice.
Could be.
So it's like marketing kind of...
Yeah,
you're the boss, basically.
I mean, contacting you guys in the first place. Yeah.
So I was going to jump the gun. We've got a little bombshell about Harrods coming up in a second, but we need to talk about the rums. We're talking about how you distilled. Remind me, what's the name of the still? I'll cut the B-roll in of the still in now. Nelmar. And there was a reason behind that. I completely forgot.
So our oldest daughter is Nelly.
Yeah. Hello.
And our youngest daughter is Margot.
So
Nell.
Which one's your favourite?
Depends.
Both of them.
Yeah.
The dog.
About 7.
If you can't see, we've got the token distillery dog down here as well.
Yep.
It's like that. It might not be in shot, but anyway. So we've got Nelmar down there that creates the rum. We've got 7.
We've got 7 in the range, 6, 5 in production. Actually, 1. As you know, today.
Yeah, literally, we are distilling, lime and ginger tasting.
Yeah.
80, whatever it was, percent ABV. It's really good.
It's yummy.
So let's start off with the white. Obviously, this is the base of everything. You are not buying rum in and redistilling to flavour. You are distilling this little beast, which my community already have had a little taster of this and went down quite well.
It's yummy.
A couple of weeks ago. So this is it. This is the byproduct of all 4 kind of stuff. 40% ABV. I'm led to believe this was literally like off the still. Jobs are good and attempt 1.
Yeah, we actually forgot to taste it. So we had to take some security seals off and try it.
So you bottled it without tasting it?
Yeah, it was like, shit, we haven't tried it. Oh, can I swear?
Yeah, of course you can,
right?
that's fine.
We thought, oh no, we haven't tried it yet. So we had to
So you
pop
backed
it.
yourself.
Yeah,
That much arrogance. See, that's the chef, the chef mentality in him. Look, I'm a chef. I don't need to taste my food. I know it's going to be fine. But that's amazing.
And we tried it, and we were like, do you know what?
Because that's that bottle that you sent to me as well. The first batch.
And that was it was a bit rushed because I think you'd have got half the media of Brighton.
Yeah,
and
we had a big
surrounding
Brighton
areas.
open day 7 days after the still was run to
So that was
bring
literally
everyone to
bottled
the distillery.
hours before everybody turned up. So
Yeah.
it was a bit of a rush.
Fresh.
It was
Yeah.
fresh. But yeah, no, it turned out well. It's we're not hiding anything. All of our rums are unaged and unfiltered. You know, our spiced, our amber over there. We know the English like darker rums.
Yeah.
So we've caramelled one. We're completely open and
Yeah.
honest about it.
So this
We're
is
transparent.
this is what's in the Craft Rum Club, isn't it? It's amber. Yeah. So that is just this
with a smidge of caramel.
with a smidge of caramel.
Yeah, but we make it.
Yeah. So caramel as in colouring, caramel as in
So
what?
we make a caramel.
Go on. Yeah, this is what I wanted to get at.
Yeah,
go
so
on.
I'm dead against additives, colourings, flavours, and I know we can dispute what's an additive, but from what I'm talking about is a chemically produced products, E numbers, all that stuff. So being a chef, caramel's not hard to make. It's burnt sugar with some water. So from that perspective, we're like, I don't want to put something in a product to sell that I wouldn't consume myself.
Oh, we need to sort of carry on this backstory as well. I forgot about this, about what you can and can't.
Yeah, I'm still not very good on like
Yeah.
Smarties, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, so you can't, what's your, you can't have
squash.
sugar or, so
I
that's your
just think,
whole
like,
ethos behind.
Artificial colours.
Yeah.
So like excess sugars, I'm still like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Smarties or something. I think they'd put me on Ritalin if they could. So yeah, everything in our product, all of our products are natural. There's no what I would constitute crap in it.
Yeah.
It's all.
So this is homemade caramel gone in there.
Yeah.
To
And that's made from a pure sugar cane. So it's not like a refined white sugar. It's proper cane sugar.
Amazing. So you guys can judge for yourself because the Craft Rum Club, you've got this. But that will lead us then nicely on to what's going on downstairs, because when we're talking about real ingredients, and we won't mention the company, but what was that little bottle earlier?
Oh yeah, we.
This just blew my tiny little
So
mind
we're
and
trying-
opened my eyes up to what your big corporate brands are doing.
So we were trying to say how, because again, we want to get to the point where we've got a lovely old barrel-aged rum, but it takes time. So we need to diversify from a basic white into some flavoured rums. So how can we use popular rum drinks and bring those flavours into a premium sipping rum?
Yeah.
So ginger and lime, which we're distilling downstairs.
Before we cut into the dropper bottle thing,
Yeah.
right, limes, we kind of nailed this down to about 160 that you were peeling. He said 4 cases. I know what a case looks like. I think there's about 45 to 46 limes in a case. So we're going sort of 180 limes, I reckon you guys must have peeled last night.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And about 2.5 kilos of fresh ginger.
2.5 peeled, whacked in the still, and
Straight through and
see,
out.
that's just what you don't get from, like, distilling rum's one thing, but actually then flavouring up with proper flavours,
Real flavour,
with proper fresh ingredients down there, that's all labour, and people are going on about, oh, why does it rum cost this much and all that. Fucking labour costs.
Yeah, and granddad's on your shoulders, and if you're going to do it properly.
So ginger and lime, that's coming off the still now.
We've made some sample runs of this. It took me a long time to get the ratios right. It was too limey, then it was too gingery, then it tasted of nothing, and then it was a mishmash. So I think this was probably about recipe 9 or 10. So we used a little still just to play with the flavours and get it right. But yeah, I think it's turned out really nice. The feedback again.
Now, you could have used a dropper bottle.
Yeah, that was the cola.
Yeah. Now, so this little dropper bottle is about that big.
Yeah.
And what did you say to me? One drop?
One drop does 100 litres.
Say that again. One drop,
100 litres.
100 litres.
Yeah.
That's just nuts.
It
kind of makes you realise what all these commercial brands are, and not the artificialness of them.
And probably why you can bang it out so cheap. Let's be honest.
That's
you know, like we were
crazy.
saying, you're paying at least £8.50 in VAT and duty.
Yeah.
So I'm perplexed how someone could make a bottle for 12, 14, 15 quid.
That's nuts. And I mean, if you like me, I'm super passionate about the British and the UK and Scottish and everything. Cornish, doing it themselves from scratch. That's what I'm really getting into. So for me, the whole labour of love doing that.
It's passion.
And it's passion. And then that leads us nicely into the spiced, because I'm assuming the spices are all, they're not dropper bottles either.
They're all sort of dotted around here. You could probably
I think there'll be some B-roll, I think I've got, including the baby sham bottles that will be on the backside down there.
Can't beat a bit of baby sham. So yeah, the spiced is a macerated spice.
Yeah.
So we just distill our white rum, temper it to 40, and then we macerate, which effectively means we have a big barrel of rum, and we put our spices in there, and we leave them to naturally extrude the flavour. Some people distill it, and some people don't. It's fine. If you're happy with the profile.
So how long's the maceration? Is it?
I don't know.
Right. Okay. No, that's fine. All right. Let's go down this route. If the spices you use, have you got to a point where you would?
I'll tell you, it's about 2.5, 3 days.
Okay.
So,
but if you found that you kind of have to add some spices afterwards and stagger the kind of.
Yeah, some will leach. That's the right word. Leach the flavour quicker than others.
Yeah.
So something like a clove, which is quite common because it's cheap, compared to other spices. Yeah. So that's why when you try some of the maybe more mass-produced ones, you typically just get vanilla, orange, clove, because they're all relatively cheap. Vanilla's not. So yeah, we would stagger them in. If you put anise in at the front end, it would be like
that's the one I was thinking of.
So yeah, we have to be.
Yeah.
And again, I think that was over 15, 20 recipes we tried, and then we would take them out 50 cl.
Can you remember off the top of your head the spices that are in there? Go on, this is putting you on the spot. We've got anise.
Anise, cassia, pimento, or allspice, depending on what you call it.
Clove.
Looking at the shelf. Clove, fresh ginger, orange, black cardamom, vanilla pods. So yeah, we don't add any sugar to any of our products. Arguably the caramel in your wine, but there's coloration more than sweetness. We use vanilla. Vanilla is one of the best natural sweeteners you can get. So expensive, but creates a nice product.
Amazing.
And same for coffee, that's got no sugar in it.
So we've got the coffee, which is there, which the coffee comes from, I don't know where I'm pointing, but that way. It's just there, coffee beans fresh off. The cameras are there. No, but the coffee beans are literally just
over
behind.
there.
So it's all there.
So again, it's just coffee beans, vanilla, and rum, and we leave it to steep. That one takes a little bit longer.
That's what I was going to say. So that just completely got you're macerating at 40% ABV as opposed to a higher.
On the spiced, we do.
Yeah. Have you played with a higher ABV? Because when you talk, I mean, this is the experiment we've done loads, but when you talk to a lot of it, especially in you guys at home, my community, there's this whole thing about infusing in higher ABV thing.
Try some in a minute, you can see what you
think.
I've
not actually tried that. I can't know.
It's quite punchy. It's not. It is quite punchy on the spice because I tried a lot of them, or we tried a lot of them, didn't we? And Gina's brother's a development chef, so he's got a great palate as well. And we were sort of trying them all, and it was just like vanilla, sugar, vanilla, sugar, vanilla, sugar. But it's sold as spiced rum, but I can't really taste much spice. So let's break the mould. British rum, we can do what we want. Let's slash it with loads of spice.
Nice.
So
feedback's been really great, hasn't
really
it?
positive.
Really positive.
A lot of people sort of said it's nice to have a spice rum that tastes of spice. Yeah. So, and it's banging with the Stratford soda spice, touch of bitters, ace drink.
So spiced on spiced.
Spiced on spice.
Spiced on spiced. Yeah, we have got, I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to get a bottle from these guys and I'm going to roll these out on it'll be the other channel, Steve Barman Extra. We're going to do the spiced rum review. Might do them all in one, but we'll see how it goes. But definitely, Katie came up with, what was the recipe for that? The citrus and honey, I think that's...
citrus, Stratford citrus, ginger and lime with honey and sugar really.
And I tell you what, Katie, like tasting that coming off the still, my first thought was a bit of honey with that is amazing. So I think that's going to be absolutely amazing on there. So yeah, spot. No, I'm looking forward to trying that. That's because I do like my spiced rum. Spiced rum's a bit of fun.
Do you want to do it on camera?
Well, yeah, if you've got one open, let's kind of do it on camera. We've got Donna here as well from the Craft Rum Club that you might have seen floating around. We were going to do a competition about spot who that, if you could work who that is, we'd give a free bottle. But Donna's here. Right, so by the magic of editing, and Donna's like floating around. She's like, Gina's just poured us some the spiced rum. For all you dead man's fingers people and your red legs and all that, you're going to absolutely hate this because there's literally no sugar, no sweetness to it. But for all you people that love, I try and make this distinction, rum lovers that love a bit of fun and a bit of spice, that's right up your street. It is, you just nailed it with a hot cross bun. There's like this hot cross bun sort of vibe to it. But it's, even on the after palate, it's still there. And I tasted this about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
It just grows and grows and grows.
Yeah. It's like this lovely warming kind of...
And that's the thing, when you use natural products, you don't have to... It's all there. You don't have to...
He's looking at his spices.
Yeah, I'm looking at all my toys.
And do you know what? This is... So kind of, if you probably, I don't know whether you have, but why have you not watched my stuff? But if you see the sort of spiced rum reviews that I do, I always play about with mixers, and I do the 4 standard mixers and then the Stratford sodas.
Apple.
Sometimes you get, actually, the beaver apple.
It would be like a Christmas mould cider.
Sometimes you just get these, they're just too sweet for like a Coke or something. And I like this sort of style of rum because you can add, if you've got a sweet tooth, you can add that sweetness to it.
And that was the thing, when you go out and you see people drinking the mainstream spiced rums with Coke, in my head, and the conditioning with like not eating sugar and things like that is, on a night out, you're probably having in excess of 60, 70, 80 grams of sugar. Yeah. And if you actually put that in your other review where you put the sugar in the glass and went, that's how much sugar you've consumed today, in one night out, you'd be like, oh,
and you wonder why you feel shit in the next day.
Carpet mouth and your teeth get all fuzzy.
Carpet mouth?
Yeah, carpet
I like
mouth.
that one. Carpet mouth. That's kind of good.
So it is different from, I think, your mainstream spiced. But for me, it was, if we're going to make a spiced rum, which reluctantly we did, didn't we, I suppose?
What? Come on, let's have this chat. Why reluctantly? I get it.
I think because the concern was that they are heavily sugared. Typically, they're heavily sugared. And if we did it, we would do something completely opposite. And that's going to go one way. It's going to tank, or it's going to work. And I just felt that the majority of people really like a spiced rum because of the sweetness. And it was something that we just couldn't bring ourselves to. It's nice on its own. I mean, you could drink it as a sipping rum over ice, but it would take, I mean, you're the expert here, but I think that would take most mixers. Ginger, apple, Coke.
We've got an awesome mojito coming up, haven't we?
Ooh.
With the ivy, and it's going to be spiced rum, spiced mojito.
Nice. So so I think we've covered most of the product. We've got a cola nut here. We've got a coffee rum up there. I'll get all these out on videos and all. But this so we've got a story about Harrods that you need to turn. Yeah, we've got that. But also, one of the questions I like is how are you getting it out there? How are you selling it? How are you, you're 3 months in. Where's your market? You're launching in the Ivy.
We are launching the Ivy in Brighton. Yeah. So we've worked with quite a lot of various kind of organisations, if you like. So Visit Brighton, that's how we found the Ivy. We've been working with those guys and they've been absolutely amazing at, helping us promote small business in and around Brighton and the Sussex region. John does a huge amount of the selling, literally door to door with his sales bag, don't you? Lots of cold calling, lots of LinkedIn.
So when you say door to door, you mean trade?
Yeah.
Bars, restaurants like that.
Bar, restaurant. And I think we're quite fortunate. Brighton's
massive foodie scene.
Yeah, Brighton's turned into a food and drink scene. I think it was always a party scene, but the quality has lifted massively over the recent years. And we've been fortunate that we've got some strong allies at places like Little Fish Market, Etch. These are all like top, Michelin, if not Michelin star quality restaurants. And they have a proper palate, you know, and an appreciation for quality products. So,
and their opinion really counts within the local area, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we're really fortunate.
As a big brand, obviously the Ivy's.
So the Ivy, I mean, we're talking like a brasserie and every flipping major city up and down the UK.
Yeah, but we're starting in Brighton.
We're starting in Brighton.
We're starting in Brighton.
We're dream big.
Yeah,
but who knows?
So that's going on the menu as the mojito? Or is it a special?
So we've got a special pull-out that's going to be in their cocktail menu.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's
three on there, isn't there? There's
spiced rum mojito, old-fashioned, and Jaggery.
A pineapple and ginger dark.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice drink.
So that'll be huge, kind of, because even the footfall they have, but the customer, the clientele that they have is, you know, it's, let's be honest, it's more of the affluent sort of.
Yeah. It's
kind of your target market, to be fair.
In a way.
That's nuts.
I think otherwise, I mean, I know we've had a laugh at a joke about a big London department store. Come on, let's have this story. We've not had this story. I was like, don't tell me, let's get this on camera. Come on. You know, I work in aviation at the moment, as we said, and
sells planes.
Big business and big contracts. And what shocked me the most is that as a craft and a small business, the hurdles put in place to get to market.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's quite a few limitations placed upon the small distiller. That's just so hard, you know, listing fees, and you're not talking, you know, you're talking 10, 15, 20, 30 grand. And it's like, how is anyone who's creating a craft spirit going to compete with those major manufacturers? And I think that's a real shame, because the passion and quality that goes in these products probably matches the ethos of a lot of these big companies that trade, big companies that are department stores, big pub groups, chain pub groups, but you're not really helping yourself by putting these hurdles up to support local business, to support craft production. And you know, the beer guy suffered for many years, and now that's really, you know, booming. And you know, we can only hope, I suppose, that the craft distilleries get a break.
So Harrods is one of these places,
maybe,
but basically it just costs too much money to actually list it. So you'd end up not actually making any profit from them.
And the
flipping
margins that they want, it makes it a real challenge. And you know, we're not millionaires, and you can't. Sometimes you can take a punt in business to say it's going to be worth it from a branding perspective, which, let's be honest, is the majority of it. People drink certain spirits because they know the brand. They're probably awful, but they feel comfort in the brand. And I think a lot of the big brands, not just drink, but you know, clothing, everything else.
But it's sort of, you know, from my point of view as well, for like looking, an outsider looking in, it would probably, to get massive listings, it would probably stretch you beyond your means, and the quality would suffer. And you kind of live outside. The whole point of creating a passion business is you're doing what you love doing every single day. Yeah. You don't want the stress and
who knows? Maybe there's a market to open a distributor for craft people, because there's.
Ooh. Slide into the DMs
if you want to come in with us on that or invest in it, let us know. But I think there could be, because you know, most people would rather buy local. We see that with the food trade now. You know, 30 years ago, no one buy local was like, you didn't have the opportunity. And now, you know, we see the upspring of like the chefs, the celebrity chefs, and people taking a passion in food. And hopefully we can start to learn that passion and understanding and appreciation for alcohol. And not just me, but there's loads of other people doing rum, some of the gins, but there's a lot out there in brandies. And I think, you know, a bit more support in it as a community would help everybody grow a bit more.
I kind of get, because even like, I know, especially my membership, but we've got a split divide in there that all people, you know, they see this whole £45 thing for a rum, and they're kind of, well, you know, I'm not paying that for a UK rum, but it's kind of that. But the flip side is, there's a load of people like me that kind of get it and understand it and love to support local, and kind of, as I said to you many times today, I've got access to you and what you're doing downstairs, and my eyes are lit up, your eyes are lighting up, telling me what you're doing.
It's a passion, but like I said, that, you know, every bottle we sell, £9 of that plus
£9 plus the VAT.
Yeah.
Goes to the government in taxes and duty. So how can you produce a bottle for £13?
Exactly.
Do we not have to start questioning?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, you get volume.
Yeah.
I get that. And even still,
Yeah.
you know.
It's all better like, yeah. So, okay, well, I did ask the question downstairs, but I'll kind of rephrase this a little bit as well. So I sort of said to you, where do you see yourself, what in 10 years' time? And you kind of very much, he told me a little bit about you, and you want a plan, and he's like, I'll just kind of get, but kind of, let's just talk, not your own personal kind of thing, but like rum, like where do you see Goldstone in like, I don't know, 2-3 years' time? I'm still struggling to believe that this quality is coming out after 3 months, you know.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Are we casking? Are we aging? Are we, you know?
Definitely going to lay some down in casks soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just that what can we do?
Yeah.
You know, I think you've worked out today, I like to be a bit weird and wacky. And you're like, why can't I have 4 sugars in my rum?
Jaggery, Panela.
So from a cask, barrel, whatever you want to call it, perspective, there's a lot out there to play with.
But just going with the flow sort of thing. No sort of set path.
I think there's a couple that I've got in my head I'd like to play with. And
barrels.
And just to do something different. You know, we've always used bourbon, we've always used whiskey. Why? Yeah. Why can't I use?
I'm like that.
Port?
I'm not a huge whiskey. See, I can't. I'm just going to say it, and this lot will, you know, they'll get my back up. But I've got this thing where, you know, heavy aging, I love the taste of rum, and I think heavy aging kind of masks the taste of what the new breeds, you guys, are actually creating straight out. And this is the people that I think they don't appreciate. It's a different, I'm not saying it's better quality, it's just different quality to what's over in the Caribbean. And actually, we've got the tech, we've got the money, we've got the kind of knowledge where you can create some flipping awesome stuff. And this is a year old or 2 years old or whatever.
Or 3 months.
Or 3 months, you know.
And you know, still we've got, again, working with some guys out in Serbia, so it's relatively new, but the way that column works, that I showed you earlier, where it's been specifically designed for rum and brandy to extract all the horrible stuff, keep the flavour, but give us a ridiculously smooth spirit. And to, you know, off the still getting it that smooth is that, you know, I'd like to say
it's your skill set.
But you know, the equipment, we're lucky because we've got access to modern equipment, and some distilleries, not just rum, but a lot of, you know, whiskies as well. And some of these stills are really old. Yeah. And they've been around the block for a long time. So technology can come into distillation.
Do you think, all right, let's put this in there. Do you think your background in chefing has helped you a little bit with flavour? Yeah,
because I think
So I know a few chefs that are distillers, and you know, make some pretty good.
Yeah, you used to playing with flavours, and I think modern cookery allows you to break the boundaries of Escoffier and classic French cookery. So we would put, you know, one of my chefs, Neil, if he's watching, he's made a bone marrow ice cream to serve with a fillet steak, and everyone's going, "What on earth are you doing, making bone marrow ice cream?" And it was delicious. Yeah. And you had the hot and the cold. So yeah, that kind of lack of fear to play around, I think, is how we've come up with what we have today.
I think as I've said time and time again today, I know I keep repeating myself, but you know, it is that whole exciting thing, you know, there is no rules, there is no kind of, you have to do it this way. It's like, I'm going to do it my way. Gotcha.
Well, why not?
You know, if you don't like it, don't like it. Go and buy a 10-year-old Barbados rum or whatever.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I drink them. So we drink them at home, you know. We have your Mount Goes, your Foursquares, your Chairman's Reserve, where we, and Havana.
I heard about week 3. Was it week 3? Date? No.
I went to St Lucia.
Oh yeah.
Was it week 3? Was it week 3 or month 3?
It's about month 3.
Month 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
3 months tasted to St Lucia.
What was it, Admiral Rodney's? Yeah, and it was like, that was I don't know, I think that was probably the founding of, actually, rum's a proper good drink.
Nice. What a place to find it as well.
Yeah, it was all right.
Kind of, let's finish, because I think we're getting close to an hour. Let's kind of finish this off. A couple of little things here. It's like, right, your favourite drinks. How do you drink rum?
You can go
We
first.
we both
Go.
like the same, don't we? Rum, stomach.
That's all right. Come on.
Rum, ginger ale, and lime. That's our favourite.
Wedge of lime.
Yep.
See, I'm a big ginger ale fan. Come on, what ginger ale?
Schweppes.
High Schweppes. Yeah, the old
Schweppes
Canada
all
Dry.
day long.
It is so much better than
Yeah, I
filter, isn't
know.
it?
Filter's too strong.
It
Too
is.
blunt, too zingy.
You use Schweppes as well, Canada Dry. Yeah.
We drink the same, don't we?
I've
That's
always
our
got the
favourite
little green
I think
cans.
And the good thing with a rum and ginger is, we do a lot of tours here as well
Yeah.
on Saturday. I drink gin and tonics. I drink gin and tonics. Try rum and ginger. It's as easy to
Yeah.
make. It's the same. Pour, can, slice of lime, slice of lemon, whatever. And the amount of people we've turned to go, it's such a nicer drink.
Yeah,
than gin
and it's
tonic.
weird as well. It's like, I'm going back to 95 when I first started working behind a bar. We always had tons of ginger ale in the fridge. It's been around so long, and yet for something
Never
weird,
drinks it.
no, it's just not got. And I don't understand how a product can be around that long and not have a massive
Following, it's bonkers, and I think that for me could be that's the gin killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ginger. Okay,
Gin killer.
Nice.
Call it. That's what
so that's it. Rum, ginger.
everyone loves a dag, doesn't
Yeah,
they?
Dak. Go on.
Getting into the-
You're on a tropical beach in St Lucia. What are you drinking?
Rum punch.
Rum punch.
Yes.
Yes.
There is nothing quite like a rum punch.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
doesn't carry into wet Brighton Beach. It's not quite the same on a pebbly Brighton Beach, but I've got a lot of time for
Yeah.
rum punch.
Nice.
I think any of them, Dax, Pina Colada. On a good day, it's a
Yeah.
great drink. And the flavoured Dax, you can do so much with them, can't you? I mean, it's nice. Like I said, the pineapple
gone, is it?
ginger one is off the hook. Yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, I think I better go because I think my other camera's gone. I'll talk to this camera. But on that note, that's been Gina and John from Goldstone Rum. I'm sure you're going to hear amazing things. This is 3 months in. I'm sure you're going to hear amazing things from them over the next year or so, or God knows how long. But it's been an absolute pleasure today.
No,
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Steve.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
It's been a
And I
pleasure.
can't wait to see what you guys. I come down to Brighton quite a bit, so I train quite a bit, but I might
Yeah.
drive and sort of duck in on the way.
Yeah,
Go and
do.
finish the ginger and lime.
Go and finish it. Oh yeah, we're going to go finish the ginger and lime. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.